We are going to do a Just Us movement today. I've been traveling for the past couple of days, so my body is definitely feeling a little stiff. And so this may be like a little bit more like stretch oriented, but we'll definitely get in some of that great Pilates core work as well. So let's start kind of warming up our hips. We're gonna start in this mermaid position. So I have my right leg across the front and my left leg drawing behind me. And so we're just gonna kind of swing this back left leg forward. If you need to, you can always like turn to the side, you can drop your hand to the side, whatever you need to do to get that movement available in your hip. So we're gonna kind of tip over to the right, we're gonna lift this leg and we're gonna swing it forward. And then we're gonna pull it back to where it started. And so just going back and forth with this, warming up the hip, kind of sitting back into your sit bone as you bring that leg back behind you and in front of you. We'll do one more round. Drawing that leg behind you. So stretch your arms up to the sky. Take your right hand with your left, or right wrist with your left hand and pull up and over towards the left. Maybe turning your gaze up towards the ceiling and breathing into that right side body. Feel your butt bones get heavy. Try to relax this left hip. Just let it sit heavier into the mat. And rise all the way back up. We're going to drop this left forearm down onto the floor, stretching this right arm up and over, and turn it into a really big circle. All the way up and around, stretching through the chest, the shoulder. You can even kind of move through the ribs down towards the left, rotating open slightly behind you, really feeling how that gets into the ribs, the chest, the shoulders. One more time. And then let's reverse that. So take it overhead, rounding forward, circling around, reaching up, rounding forward. Two more. One last time. And then turning that right hand to your left thigh and the left hand as well. And just kind of lifting your heart up, lengthening out your spine. And then rounding down towards that left thigh. Relax your shoulders. You can feel this stretching all the way down into that right side of your lower back. And then unravel that back to center. I'm going to drop my right forearm onto the floor. Stretch and reach this left arm up and over. Kind of feeling like I'm bowing my ribs up towards the ceiling like a big rainbow arc. And then control with this left side to lift us, taking it to the left, dropping that right forearm over to the right. Breathing into that left side body, exhale into those obliques to take you up and over, and drop that forearm down, reaching up and over. Two more times. And last one, to the left. Coming back to your center. So we're still in this mermaid leg. Now we're gonna work these hips. So I'm gonna rise up, pressing the hips up, and then sitting those hips back down for 5. Lifting those hips, opening up the hips, sit back for 4. For 3. Adjusting those knees as you need. Last 2. And sitting back on 1. Let's swing this left leg forward. moving that right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Inhale, reaching those arms up to the sky, and with a flat back, lengthen forward. Whew. My left side is always so incredibly tight versus my right. It is wild. It's like a separate entity from my body. Just trying to relax the spine over that left thigh. Breathing into the backside body, that hamstring, that left lower back. Maybe shaking your head no. Maybe shaking your head yes. Relaxing the shoulders, the neck, the head. And again, just breathing into the backside body. And then roll yourselves up to seated, and we'll do all of that on the other side. So this time the left leg is forward, the right leg is back. We're gonna stretch those arms up to the sky. My right hand's gonna grab my left wrist, and I'm gonna pull and breathe up and over to the right side of the room. Again, maybe turning that gaze up towards the ceiling, stretching down this left side body. Relaxing your shoulders and just breathing. Rising all the way up, releasing those arms, dropping that right arm. Stretch and reach that left arm up and over. This is where we turn that into those big circles all the way around. And if you want, you can move through those ribs and shoulders and really open up the side, the back, and chest. One more in this direction. And then let's reverse it. One more. Reaching up and over, turning that left hand to your shin, right hand's at your shin. Lengthen out your spine, trying to twist deeper to the right, and then let yourself fold towards your thigh. Relaxing your shoulders, the neck and the head. And again, maybe even feeling this through that lower waistline on that left side. Carefully unravel back to center. We're going to drop that left forearm down, stretch and reach that right arm up and over. Control as you rise up, take it over to the other side. I just realized I got distracted because somebody was ringing my doorbell and I'm the only one here and I'm like, what do I do? But we'll do those hip stretches in just a moment after this one. I got a little brain fart. Like, who's at my door? Why is my doorbell ringing? One more to each side. And then coming back to center. So this is where we will swing this right leg forward, sitting into the hip. Swing that right leg back, sitting into the hip. Swing it forward and swing it back. For 3, 2, and 1. Draw it all the way back. So now we're lifting those hips up. So adjust your knees as needed, and we're rising up and sitting back down. Rising up and sitting back down. For 3, 2, one last time. Rising up and sit back down. Swing this leg out in front of you. Again, sole of your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Reach those arms up to the sky, and with a flat back, lengthen forward. Again, it's just so amazing to me, like feeling that difference from one side to the other. And just breathing into the back side of your body, letting things go. Trying not to hold on to any tension. And then rising all the way back up. We're going to come down onto our back this time. And then I want you to turn your legs. You're on my left side. So I'm turning my legs to the left, and they're stacked at 90 degrees. So my knees are in line with my hips, and my feet are in line with my knees. And then I'm just going to rotate those arms out to the side. So it's as though the shoulders are trying to press into the floor. So it's a little bit of a spinal twist here. And then I'm going to take this left arm, and I'm going to start to go over my head. And then I'm turning through the ribs and the shoulders until that left arm reaches longer than the right. That arm's going to continue down towards my thighs. And it's going to rotate open onto the floor, stretching all the way up overhead. And big circles. So we are moving through the ribs, through the shoulders, and just feeling how this just, again, opens up the spine. We were flying yesterday, so I was sitting a lot. This feels really good on my back. The next round, we're going to reverse that. So you're going to go over your head, rotating those shoulders open, and circling all the way around. One more. Reaching those arms out to the sides, bringing your right leg up, left leg to come up to meet it. Shift your hips over a little bit so that those knees fall to the left. Knees in line with the hips, feet in line with the knees. Feel those shoulders reaching heavy into the mat. And then we're going to go over the head with that left arm, circling over to the right. And all the way around. Moving through those ribs, the spine. Trying to keep that head just heavy. Just letting it follow the range of motion. One more in this direction. Let's reverse it. Take it overhead, opening up through the chest, the shoulders, circling forward. Really trying to reach those shoulders into the mat as you open up, getting deeper into that twist. One last time. Opening those arms out to the sides, shoulders reaching into the mat. Bringing that left leg up to tabletop, right leg comes up to meet it. Adjust yourself so that you feel center. So those legs are at tabletop. Those arms are still out to the sides to a T. We're going to allow those legs to fall to the right. Feel that left waistline kick in. So I'm not dropping my legs all the way to the floor. I want to feel those obliques wringing out the spine. And then I'm going to exhale into that left waistline, taking it over to the right side of the room. Breathing into that right side body. Exhale as I come through center, and just alternating that back and forth a few times. To the right, using your core to pull you through center. To the left, exhaling. Alternating back and forth, just kind of wringing out that waistline. Connecting with those obliques. Keep keeping those shoulders and ribs heavy into the mat. When we go over to this left side, let's pause here. Let's extend that right leg, flex that right foot, bend the leg back in, take it all the way over to the right side, and the left leg's going to straighten and flex. Bend it back in, take it over to the right side. Right leg straightens, flexing the foot. Bend it back in, take it over to the other side. Left leg straightens, reaching through the bottom of your foot. Bend it back in. We're going to add on again. This time I'm going to draw my arms down by my sides. Extend the legs straight up to the sky, finding Pilates V feet. Keep my heels together as my legs go over to the left. My hip does pull away. Control with your core as you come through center, taking it over to the right. Exhaling through center. This one I call tick-tock. So going back and forth. Again, bringing out that waistline. Connect with your core, your breath, to pull those legs back to center. Last one, each side. And to the right, last time. And then hug those knees into your chest, maybe rocking a bit from right to left, maybe making little circles to the right. And then those circles can go to the left. And then let's plant that left foot onto the floor. Grab the back of that right leg, extend the leg straight up to the sky, flex your toes towards your nose, bend the leg back in. Kick the leg up, flex the toes towards your nose, bend back in. Last one, extend the leg and hold it there. You can keep your left foot planted or extend the left leg down onto the mat, as long as it doesn't pull negatively into your lower back. You're going to externally rotate that right leg in the hip and circle that leg down, around, and up. Inhale down, exhale around. Inhale down, exhale around. 2 more. Last one. Hold it at the top. Keep that external rotation as we reverse it. Inhale down, exhale around. For 3, 2, 1, hold it here. Grab the back of that thigh with both of the hands. Take a deep breath in, and you're going to press the leg down as you curl the head and chest forward, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing the tail. Now we're going to continue to lift up the leg. So we're climbing up that leg, growing tall at the top. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly roll yourself down, their thigh back down into the mat. Legs to the sky, hands behind the thigh. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, those upper abs. Curl the head and chest forward. Relax those shoulders. I'm kind of using my core, but also using my leg for assistance as I lift all the way up. Take a deep breath in at the top. Exhale, roll it down, one bone at a time. One more like that. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, those upper abs curl forward. Relax those glutes as you continue to curl yourselves all the way up at the top. So this is an added stretch. I'm going to take my left hand to the outside of my right foot, ankle, calf, shin, wherever your flexibility allows you to hold. And we're going to rotate open, twisting the spine towards the back of the room. Relax those shoulders. Try to get taller in your spine. Breathing here. And maybe seeing if you can pull that right leg slightly across the left. Really reaching into that outer hip and thigh. And then coming back to center, both hands grab the leg, relax the shoulders, take a deep breath in. Exhale as we roll ourselves all the way down. Bend this right leg into the body and go across the body for a full spinal twist. Maybe looking out that right shoulder, maybe feeling the right shoulder get heavier into the mat. Breathing down that waistline, those ribs, maybe even feeling this in that lower back and hip. And then unraveling back to the center. Planting that right foot, grab the back of the left leg, relax your shoulders. First we stretch, we kick that leg straight up to the sky, flex the toes to the nose, bending that leg in. Extend, flex, and bend. One more time, extend and stretch. Again, you can keep your right foot planted, or if you have that space, to lengthen that right leg all the way out. I'm going to externally rotate that left leg in my hip socket and draw big circles, down, around, and up. Inhale, down, exhale, around. Inhale, down, exhale, around. Two more. Let's reverse it at the top. Keep that external rotation. Inhale, down, exhale, around. Inhale, down, exhale, around. Two more. Last one. Hold it here. Grab the back of that thigh. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as those upper abs curl the head and chest forward. Relax your shoulders. You're going to use your thigh, but also those abs to help climb you all the way up, growing tall at the top. Take a deep breath in. Exhale lowers you bone by bone back down into the mat. Breathing in at the bottom. Exhale, upper abs curl forward. Relax those glutes as you continue to lift all the way up. Breathing in here. And then exhale, lowering all the way back down. One more time, inhaling at the bottom. Exhale as we lift and curl all the way up. We're going to stay lifted here at the top. So your right hand grabs either the outside of your right foot, shin, calf, ankle, and we're rotating open towards the wall behind us, sitting nice and tall. Relax those shoulders and feel that oppositional reaching through the arms. We're going to take this left leg and cross it over the right, feeling a little bit more of a stretch through that outer hip and thigh. Coming back to center, grabbing that leg again with both the hands. Take a deep breath in and then melt your way down into the mat. Bending this left leg into your chest. Go across your body for a spinal twist. Looking out that left shoulder, breathing into the left side body. And coming back to center, planting those feet on the mat. So our feet are about hip distance wide. Arms are going to be long by our sides. We're going to go into some bridging. So I'm starting pubic bone towards belly button and begin to articulate those hips, lifting your hips up. At the top, keep those ribs zipped down towards the hips so it keeps your lower back nice and long. Feeling this lovely stretch through the whole front side body. Take a deep breath in and then exhale, melt upper back down, middle back, lower back, waistline, tailbone. Take a deep breath in at the bottom. Scoot the pelvis towards you, curling the hips, lifting those hips up to the ceiling, rooting down into all four corners of your feet, and then melting upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone. I'm going to add on. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as those hips lift up. Feel that lovely stretch to the front side body.
Reach your arms up and back behind you as long as those ribs don't pop and flare up towards the sky. Keep those arms stretching behind you as you roll your back down, getting an even bigger stretch through the spine. Arms come down by your sides. Hips lift up. Arms reach up and back behind you. Melt your spine down. Let go of your glutes so that you stretch more through your back as you lower. Arms come down by your sides. One more like this. The hips lift up. The arms reach up and back. And then we melt down, bone by bone, back into the mat. Arms come down by your sides. We're going to take this right ankle and cross it over the top of our left thigh. So we haven't moved our left foot. It's still in line with the butt bone, still on that left side. So I'm pressing down through the back of the arms, the back of the shoulders. And I'm going to lift the bottom up and lower the bottom down. So this is more of a flat back, hinging to lift, and a flat back to lower. We're going to do 3 more. Squeeze and release. 2, lift and lower. Last one, lift and hold. I'm going to dip my right knee down towards the floor. So we're going again into a little rotation of the spine. And then I'm going to squeeze that side back up for 3. Dip the right side down and lift for 2. One more time. Dip and lift. Hold it here. Lower those hips all the way down and bring that right foot down. Switching sides. Left ankle over right thigh. Again, pressing through the back of the arms and shoulders. Flat back. Bottom lifts up and bottom lowers down. The same thing here. We want to maintain that rib point connection. So we don't want those ribs flaring at the top of our bridge. 2 more times. Hips lift and lower. Last one. Stay lifted and hold. Now we're going to dip this left knee. So we're twisting from the hips, dropping the left hip down, and squeeze that left hip back up. Left hip lowers. Left hip lifts. One more time. Twist and lower. Lift and hold it here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower the bottom down, and then lower that foot down. So next variation, you're going to take your feet about as wide as your mat. Realize how crooked I was on my mat. So align yourself with your center. And my toes are kind of turned out like maybe 1 and 11. And my feet are about as wide as the mat. So pressing through the back of the arms and shoulders. Bottom lifts up and flat back, bottom lowers to a hover. Squeeze as you lift and hover. So again, pressing those hips up, keeping those ribs zipped down towards those hips. This one you should feel more that like outer smile of your glutes. What I like to call the thas, where your thigh meets your ass. My clients hear that in class all the time. Working your thas. 3 more. 2. On this last one, we're going to stay lifted and hold. Okay, so we've got our feet grounded. We're going to lift both heels up, lower them down. Lift the heels, lower the heels. Still keeping that long line from your shoulders to your knees. 4, 3, 2. Hold your heels up on 1. So now we're going to alternate the heels. Right heel lowers and lifts. Left heel lowers and lifts. Right heel lowers and lifts. Left heel lowers and lifts. 3. Alternate back and forth. Last round. Heels are up. Keep them up. Pulse your booty. Up. 2, 3, 9, 10. Squeeze at the top. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Heels stay lifted as you start to melt down. one bone at a time, back into the mat. And then hug those knees in at the bottom, breathing into that lower back. Good. So we're going to turn onto our side. We're going to continue with those glutes a little bit more. So aligning yourself with the back edge of the mat, and your legs are going to be angled towards the front corner of your mat. So legs are long. You can have your head down or support your head with your bottom hand. Either works. So stacking the shoulders, the ribs, the hips, the top leg lifts up. We're going to flex the foot forward towards our nose. Point the toes, reach back in line with the spine. Flex the foot forward towards your nose. Point, reach back in line with the spine. And when I'm reaching back, I'm not so much going like behind me to the point where my body starts to pivot forward, but I'm feeling as though someone were trying to pull that leg out of my socket. Toes flex forward, point and reach. Flex, point and reach. Feeling when you're reaching long that you're also feeling this stretch up into the side of your belly, your psoas. 2 more. Last one. Hold your point. It's going to be the same move, but where we're changing the foot. So we're going to point forward, flex, reach back. Point forward, flex, reach back. This one you can feel the difference in those leg muscles. The quad works a little bit more as you point forward. Three, 2, last one, reach back. Draw this leg to meet the bottom one. We're externally rotating, so that means toes and knee are turned up to the sky. So similar to what we were doing with the last one, we're going to flex the foot as we lift the leg, point the toes as we lower. Flex, lift, point, lower. So we're not trying out for the Rockettes. So I don't care if your leg hits your nose, right? It's not about how high you can kick, but more about keeping the pelvis aligned. So stacking those hips, because I can go all the way up here, but it doesn't mean that my body is in proper alignment, right? Flex to lift, point to lower. Keeping those hips, shoulders, and ribs stacked. 3, 2, last one. Hold your point, and we're going to reverse the foot, same exact move. Point as you lift, flex as you reach long. Point as you lift, flex as you reach long. Two more. Last one. Lower down. Bring that leg back to neutral. Point through the toes, reach long. Tiny circles for 10. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse it back. 9, 10. Big, big, big circles. As big as you can. So we're going to go forward, up, back, and around for 5. Forward, up, and around for 4. Exhale for 3. Reach for 2. Last one. Hold it back here. We're going to reverse that. Kick it forward and around for 5. Up and around for 4. Reach for 3. Last 2. And 1. Bend your knees in. Take your top foot, plant it in front of your bottom knee, and then just push that knee away from you to stretch out your hip. And then let's press up to hands and knees. Do a few little cat and cows. So drop the head, the tail, curling the spine, curling the tail under. Lift the head, the tail, opening up into cow, pushing that floor away beneath you. Curling the spine, rounding into angry cat, drop the head, let it go. Lift the heart, the tail, opening up. One more time. And reversing. Good. And then we'll lay on our other side. So, aligning yourself with the edge of your mat. Again, you can have your head all the way down if you want. You can support your head. Your legs are at a 45-degree angle, slightly forward. And the first part, we're starting with our front and back kicks. So we're flexing the foot, sweeping the leg forward, point the toes, reach it back in line with the spine. Flex, forward, point, reaching back. And the hardest part is stabilizing through the trunk. So we're again trying not to bob and weave your chest and shoulders forward and back. Just the leg. Thinking of the leg like a pendulum swinging in that hip socket. One more time. Forward, point, reach back. We're going to reverse that foot. So it's going to be a point forward, flex to reach back. Point the foot forward, flex to reach back. It's amazing how different just changing your foot can feel in your body. Two more. Point forward, flex back. Last one. Point forward, flex back. Draw that leg to meet the bottom one. We're externally rotating that leg in the hip socket. Flex the foot as we lift the leg. Point the toes to lower the leg. Flex, up, point, lower. Exhale. And reach, flex, lift, point to lower. Four more. Keeping those hips stacked. Shoulders and ribs are stacked. We've got two more. Last one. Point to lower. It's the same move. We're just changing that foot. So it's a point to lift and a flex to lower. I'm always visioning that leg reaching longer than that bottom leg. So it's as though I'm trying to lengthen out this waistline, lengthen out this hip socket. Two more. Last one. All the way down. Bring that leg back to neutral. Point through the toes. Little circle for 10. 2, 1. Let's reverse it. 10. 3, 2, 1. We've got those big circles. We're going to go forward, up, back, and around. Forward and around. For 3. As big as you can make them. For 2. Letting go of any tension. And let's reverse it. Front and sweep it back. 2. Sweep it back. 3, 4, one more, and 5. Bend those knees in. Take that top foot, plant it in front of your bottom thigh, and just push that knee away from you, stretching out your hip and glutes. And then let's flip over onto our bellies. So, prop yourselves up onto your forearms. Make sure that the legs are nice and long behind you. Do you feel kind of open in that front of your leg hip socket? So your hands are parallel. Like, don't have your hands clasped together. It's just a lot more work on the front shoulders, and it's just kind of unnecessary to work there. We're stretching through the belly and working these back muscles. So first, just kind of let your head and shoulders shrug down into the mat. And then I'm going to root down into the forearms, the palms, and start to feel the heart lift forward and feel that crown of your head reaching up. So I'm not trying to go back, so I just still want that length in the back of the neck. Now from here, feel as though you can pull your belly button away from the floor. Feel how when you pull that belly button away from the floor, maybe your glutes want to tighten a little bit. So check in, still keep that belly button lifted, but let go of your butt muscles. It's a lot to think about. But the more you let go of your outer main muscles, the outer main muscles of your hips, your glutes, your hips, the bigger stretch you're going to feel in the front side body, which is your psoas, one of those deep hip flexor muscles. And then release that back down. So rooting down into the forearms, lift the heart, lift the chest forward. Your gaze is reaching out in front of you. And then pull that belly in away from the mat. And then release that down. This next one we're going to add on. So if you want, you can stay exactly where you were, or we're going to get a little bit deeper. So root down into the forearms, lift the heart, lift the chest, lift your gaze, keep the back of the neck nice and long. Lift your belly button. And then press into the palms and start to float your elbows. Keep pulling the belly button away from the mat and keep relaxed in those glutes and those hips. It feels as though that pubic bone was pressing down into the mat. And then drop those elbows and shrug those shoulders. One more time. Press down into the forearms, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Again, lifting the belly button. You can stay here. This is your modified move. Or press into those palms and keep feeling as though you're lifting up through that front side body. Should feel this stretch on either side of your belly button. And then lower that down. Stretch those arms out long over your head. Your palms can face down, or you can face in the palms toward each other, whichever feels good on those shoulders. So we're focusing on the back side of the body. We're going to lift that right arm up and hover it from the mat. Has that changed anything in your waistline? Do you feel a shift? Try to stay stable in the ribs and the hips. We're going to float that left arm up as well. Now we should feel even more centered in our middle section. Trying not to tighten anything or hold tension anywhere. And then float that head up. The neck is lifted and your gaze is down towards the floor. Keep drawing that pubic bone down into the mat as though you're feeling your belly pulling in away from the mat. This protects that lower back and keeps that lower back nice and long. Take a deep breath in here, and then just let that go. So we're going to do that again, starting with the left arm. So my head is down, my forehead is down. Palms can either be down or facing in, whatever feels good on your shoulders. The left arm is going to lift. Again, how does that feel in your trunk? Has my body shifted? Do I feel centered? Staying lifted through the shoulders, we float the right arm up as well. So now both arms are lifted. Both shoulders are drawing down into their back pockets. Now I'm going to float the head up, hovering the chest, the shoulders, the arms, the head up off the floor. And we're soft in the glutes, pressing down through the thighs, and breathing into our body. And release. Pressing up and pressing back into a child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide. hips to your heels, and just letting yourself sink down into the mat. Just kind of taking an assessment of your body and how it feels from the beginning of class to now. Taking both of the arms over to the right. Maybe feeling that left arm reach a little bit longer than the right arm. And that left hip gets a little bit heavier into the mat. And then taking those arms over to the other side. And again, that right arm reaches a little bit longer. That right hip sits a little bit heavier. And then coming back to the center, take a deep breath in, exhale as we curl ourselves up to seated. And then we are all through. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. It's a hot one here.